shake that too hard. Hi everyone and welcome back to the Colour Cave, where we like to play with art stuff. Today is Scrawlrbox unboxing day, so I just want to get stuck into it and see if we can get a little feel for the supplies and some inspiration for me and for you for the Scrawler Challenge video later on in the month. So let's just get straight to top down view and we can go and explore our art subscription box. Okie dokie, so if you are new to the channel or this is the first time you've seen an unboxing, Scrawlrbox is the only UK art subscription box. You pay a little bit of money every month and they send you a surprise box of goodies. One of the things I really like about Scrawlrbox is they give you an art prompt, and the idea is that you use the supplies in the box to create something surrounded by the theme. So let's see, we've got, everything has managed to stay in the package this time round, which is always nice. So the first thing we've got is this month's featured artist. That's quite pretty, I quite like that. And it looks as if it's done in pencil, which obviously excites me because I like pencil. That's pretty cute. So on the back, we have the featured artist's name, which is Joanna Fee. She's 21 and from Portugal, but also down at the bottom here, any social media links that the artist has is always listed, so you can go and check out their other stuff. Okie dokie. So the other thing they always get is paper of some description, and this feels really textured. It's like cardstock and it's quite knobbly bobbly. I think we've had very similar paper to this before, and the last time we got paper like this was the Derwent Lightfast pencils, if any of you have been subscribers to Scrawlrbox for a while. So we've got 2 sheets of that and I think they're both the same. Yeah. The texture is slightly different on one side to the other, and it's obviously just the way the paper's been pressed, so that's good to know. Okay, let's get in here. Here's our list of supplies, which we'll take a peek at later. Oh, it's so exciting, I can feel pencil. Oh, and we have some Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. Well, isn't that perfect? And more specifically, I have here Earth Green Yellowish, which is a colour that I use all the time. And this pencil of mine is actually getting really short, so that's convenient. So these are artist grade and they are oil-based pencils. I use these all the time and they're fabulous, so I'm really happy about this. I've also got Van Dyke Brown. We've got the mandatory pencil, a Staedtler Norris erasable red pencil. So this is kind of like a colour erase pencil by Prismacolor. Some of you might be familiar with them. The colour erase pencils by Prismacolor do actually erase pretty well for a coloured pencil, so it will be interesting to test this one out and make a comparison. Oh my goodness, we've got a tiny dinky Posca pen in white. This is a PC1M, so I'm thinking this must be the slimmest one you can get. I've got my other one here. So yeah, no, this is a 1M. This is a 1MR, I think it says under there. The crease is kind of on the, I think that says 1MR, so that's pretty dinky. So we'll open that up and we can compare it to this one because I have it handy. So these are paint pens. They're water soluble paint, and if I give that a shake you should be able to hear the ball rattling about. These are great for highlights or just whitening out an area maybe where you've made a mistake, more so if you've been using ink, but these are pretty handy. Some people prefer to use gel pens for the same sort of idea, but I quite like a Posca pen. This is a good box so far. I'm excited, guys. Oh, we have our sweet, which it's a bit bashed, but this is a Frutella Duo Sticks. So this is apple and strawberry, so that's always good. Oh, and our Scrawlrbox sticker in some lovely colours as well. It doesn't really look like it's been done in pencil though. It looks like it's been done in paint. Oh my goodness. Oh, yay. The next thing that's my favourite after pencils is paint, so this is good. This is the Daler Rowney travel set and it's aquafine watercolours. So we have 12 pans here, and also it comes with a paintbrush apparently. Oh, now this is exciting. This is a really good box. So let's have a look at what it says about each item. So it starts with the aquafine travel set. Move this out the way. So I'm just going to crack this open first and we can have a read. Handy pocket-sized watercolour travel set, half pans of aquafine colour and a travel brush, Palette offers 3 mixing sections, blah blah blah, reservoirs, rich free-flowing transparent colours, excellent tinting strength and working properties that reliably produce, okay. Oh, it's so diddly. Oh, my pans have got stuck to oh. Okay, that is so cute. So there's space in here, if I just give this a quick blow off, there's space in here for you to put water in. Obviously that's kind of a requirement for these paints. But also you have these 3 areas here that you can use for mixing colours if that's what you want. It is plastic. I find personally that if you use this section here for mixing, you will find that it stains the plastic. Some people aren't bothered by stuff like that. Obviously if you're travelling, that's what you're going to use. But if you're using these at home, I would actually use a separate palette, because I find as well mixing pan watercolour on plastic doesn't do so well, because it all kind of goes just like that. So I'm quite interested to test these colours out. I wonder if it tells you the name of it. Yeah, it does. If you look on the side of each of these little half pans, it tells you the actual colour. So we've got lemon yellow. I'm not going to go through all these, we'll swatch these out in a minute. And let's have a look at the brush as well. Oh, the brush has got a sparkly bit on it. How very nice. Okay, this is a bit wrecked, but never mind. So it's quite a fine pointed brush, but obviously it is a travel size, and it says on it number 4. So it's a size 4 brush. And we'll just soften off the end of that a little bit. We've got the Polychromos pencils, which we've talked about a bit already. I'll just see if there's anything else that I haven't mentioned. Oh yeah, excellent light fastness. Oil-based, they're water resistant, smudge proof. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we're happy with those. The Norris erasable coloured pencil. Yeah, it just says it's an erasable pencil. There's not really much else to say on that. And the Posca pen, the ultra fine marker, vibrant, super versatile water-based marker. I did say it was water-based. And highly pigmented, permanent and bleed proof on paper and card. You can use these paint pens on most surfaces, but obviously you can wipe or scratch them off if you use it on a really smooth surface like glass or metal. The versatility of the Posca has made it internationally popular with the artistic community, and we know you will love it too, yes. Langton Prestige watercolour paper, blah blah blah, yep, okay, so we've basically got watercolour, and the Scrawler challenge prompt is Summer Flourish. Oh, that's exciting. So there we go, let's get down to business and test out some of these supplies. Alright, so the first thing I've got here is the little Posca pen. Now you do have to prime these, so what you want to do is give it a good shake, and that's just to make sure that all the pigment and everything's mixed in the middle. I'm kind of wondering if I do this, if this is going to put my step count up on my watch. No, it's not moving. Just checking. And oh, look at the nib on this. It's so diddly. Oh, wow, this is so cute. I just want to show you next to the 1M. So there is the nib on the 1M, which is the one I already have, which is pretty small. And oh my goodness, it's so tiny. It's like super tiny. So I'm assuming that, yeah, we have to prime this the same way as we would the normal ones. Make sure I put the right cap on. The other thing that I noticed straight away about this is the lid doesn't have the little lapel clip on it. It's just flat, whereas the other ones have this, you know, sort of hooky on-y type clip thing. So that's not particularly important, but it's just to note. So what we have to do is we have to start pressing down, and the nib will disappear into the barrel of the pen. For those of you that haven't used these kind of pens before, and basically you just keep pressing down and eventually the paint will start to flow through. So I'm just gonna get on with this. It takes a while. Oh no, there we go, that was really quick. So let's have a little look here. Oh, so that is a considerably fine line. Now the good thing about these as well is they don't take long to dry, and you can go back over them really quickly. So if you want that to be a bit more vibrant and a bit whiter, you won't have to wait long. Moving on to some whiter paper now, let's get on to the other ones. So I'll show you the colours of these pencils. We have the earth green yellowish, which is, as the name suggests, is quite an earthy tone. Now the lovely thing about these oil-based pencils is you can layer and layer and layer. If your paper has any sort of tooth to it, you can absolutely go to town and use lots of light layers, and what that does is give you a really deep, rich colour. And I absolutely love my Polychromos pencils, I really do. So there we go, I'm still going, I'm still layering, I'm still layering. And just keep going. And you can see this sort of rich band that's starting to appear here. These are excellent pencils, I just love them. So I've not been counting, but I'm probably at like 7 or 8 layers by now, and we're still going, and we're still going. It does look really grainy on the camera, but this is actually starting to smooth out the tooth of the paper. See, if I just tilt it like that, you can see that the tooth of the paper is starting to fill up. So these are just delightful. I love them. So that's the green colour, and then we have this, what did we say that was? Van Dyke brown. So that's going to give us, not unlike the featured artist, this is obviously, it springs to mind like sort of earthy plant-based type things when we talk about a summer flourish. That's not to say that that's what we have to do, but that's the first thing that sort of pops into my head. The other thing that pops into my head is Spanish ladies dancing with fans, you know, and they like flick their fans out. So here are your two pencil colours, and they look delightful. The other thing that I want to do as well is have a little shot with this erasable pencil, and it just so happens that I have this is the Prismacolor Colorase pencil here. This is the one that I use all the time, and you can see that the eraser is quite well used as well. I do use this a lot, so we'll try it next to that and just see how it holds up. Now I knew this was going to happen straight away. It actually looks more orange than red, which is not really a big deal because we're going to be using this for sketching. But if I just put down a little scribble of this and then use the eraser that is provided and try and cut out a section of this. Yeah. So on the lighter pencil it works okay. On the darker lines it's not really doing much, but again, when you're talking about sketching, you're going to be using really light lines. You're not going to be pressing really heavily anyway because they're going to be sketch lines, but you have the option to incorporate it into your drawing as an actual coloured pencil and give you that sort of vermilion shade. So I just want to show you next to the Prismacolor now. Now that is my sort of normal pressure that I would use for sketching, and if I start to erase this, you can see that it's erasing fairly well. So as long as you keep a light hand, you're going to be okay with that. So here's the Prismacolor one, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Now you can see the difference in the colour of red. You know, there is a significant difference there. So if I just do the same thing again as I did before, and then use this eraser, now you can see that the Prismacolor one fares significantly better than the Staedtler one, and it's on this heavy line here. So if I do the same thing again and just sort of, I don't even know what that was. It looks like a cat with a ZZ Top beard or something. But if I do that and then erase this same line, I can guarantee you that this will more or less disappear. There you go. So there's the difference between the two. It's not to say it's not useful, but personally I would just use a normal pencil, I suppose, if you're that way inclined. Alright then, so that's all the pencils. The next thing we want to do is get cracked into these paints. I love them. See when they're nice and pristine like this, they're so lovely. They're so nice. So in this situation I would actually be more tempted, not that I travel and paint at all, but I would be tempted to take a water brush rather than mess about with these little reservoirs and one of these. But that's just me, everyone has their preferences, but the idea is that we want to test these out in their full capacity. So I'm just off to the side here, I have got a little jar of water and we're going to have a little test out of these colours. So this is lemon yellow. The bristles on the brush feel quite good, and these are quite vibrant as well. Okay, but you can thin them out too. So I'm just going to go through these colours really quickly and swatch them all out. Now these look really similar to me. There's not much of a difference in these two. So to me, they could have swapped that out for another colour. That's it. When you've only got a palette of 12 like this, they are very, very close together. So I would wager I would rather have had something else. Not that I'm an expert at all on these sorts of things, but I am dabbling with watercolour. So that looks like a sort of carmine-y type colour. I haven't looked at the rest of the colour names on these, so I might actually tell you on the packaging. Yeah, it tells you here. Yeah, cadmium red hue, and this is alizarin crimson, which is just beautiful. That's a lovely colour, look at that. They are quite rich, the colours, I'm quite impressed. And we've got cobalt blue. And ultramarine. So we do have the sort of usual suspects in terms of what you would expect from a palette of 12. There's nothing sort of funky popping out here. Hooker's Green's another common one as well. This is Hooker's Green Dark. I would say this is actually a very vibrant palette for, you know, for watercolour. I tend to prefer earthy tones, and it might be just to do with the things that I tend to paint. Here's our yellow ochre. This is more my bag. Raw sienna. Oh, come on now. Light red. Burnt sienna. Oh, that's lovely as well. Look how rich that is. Oh, this is exciting. And Payne's Grey, which makes me so freaking happy. I use Payne's Grey all the time, all the time, all the time. I am really glad they've included that and not black, because if you have a really saturated Payne's Grey, it's almost black anyway. So that I'm really pleased that they've put that in instead of black. I do still think though they could have ditched one of these yellows and given us maybe something a bit more exciting. But that's just me. But when you've only got 12 pans in a set, you just have to make that decision and get on with it. They do feel quite high quality. Again, my experience with watercolour is quite limited, but they're reasonably solid, and yeah, they've come out pretty nice there. So the one thing that I do want to try is to take a really dark colour like this, the Payne's Grey, and I want to see how much I can actually water it down and see if it is going to go to that nice, you know, wishy-washy watercolour that, well, that I would certainly want to use. So I'm just wanging tons of water in here. This is what I was saying about using a plastic palette though. When you add water, it just sort of beads up, and it doesn't make it the easiest to work with, especially if you need quite a bit of paint, which is why I prefer to use a ceramic palette. However, if you're traveling, you're not going to lug one of them about because they are quite heavy even though they're small. Okay, so that's pretty watery now, and let's just try this out here. Yeah, that's more the kind of thing that I would like to work with. I like to work in washes. I do a lot of washes. I really like my gradients. I'm a gradient kind of gal, so these are pretty concentrated, and I would have to use very little paint and a lot of water to get what I would want, but that's absolutely fine because it means a set like this will last absolutely forever. So I mean, the obvious choice really is, when you think of a summer flourish, you would think of maybe like you know, like a garden full of flowers that are in bloom, and you could have some like big leafy trees going on here. You know, something like this, and then you could have lots of flowers poking up through. I don't know, you could have something like that. Or the other thing that, as I said there, I was thinking about was sort of dancers with fans. So, and you could have them, you know, you could have lots of different colours in the fans, something like that. Or you could take it in a less sort of literal sense, and we could talk about, you know, it's a person flourishing in the summer. So you could have like a beach scene maybe, and you could have someone, I don't know, frolicking in the water. I don't know, I'm just making this up as I go along. There we go, somebody's having a great old time on the beach there. But the wonderful thing about this is, for the first time in a long time with the Scrawler Challenge, we are not limited by our colour palette, and it's something that happens because obviously the idea is that you use the supplies in the box, but because we have a full set of watercolour paints, you can make any colour you want. So you actually, the sky is the limit with this, and you also have the addition of this white pen, so you can go nuts with this box this month. I am super impressed, and I am super excited because I'm really enjoying watercolouring just now. So this is absolutely right up my street. The last thing that I want to do just before we finish this up, guys, is I want to try the watercolour out on this paper. So I'm just going to use a tiny corner, and I'm just going to use this really diluted Payne's Grey that we had tried earlier. I just want to see how it's going to sit on the paper. And it is behaving exactly the way it should do. This is really nice quality paper, and as far as watercolour paper goes, I think I might quite like it because I do like a really textured paper. So let's try one of the lighter colours. Let's go back to this Gamboge hue. Gamboge? So you can get like really good flat colour with it. It's not what I would call wishy-washy watercolour. So if you like sort of brighter, more vibrant hues, you still very much have the opportunity to do it with this. The little brush is great. It's really good quality as well. I'm really liking it, and it's something that I can work with. For covering large areas, it might not be great, but you can use it on its side, you know, so that if you lie at more of a parallel angle to the paper rather than, you know, point down, which is what we would, you know, more normally do. So you have that option there if you want to cover larger areas. But overall, I am super impressed with this. This is pretty good going. I'm just going to let this dry a little bit. We'll come back to this in a minute. Alright, so a quick recap of what we have in this month's box. We have our featured artist with her lovely pyjama bottomed friend here. We have 2 sheets of 300 GSM watercolour paper, which is lovely quality, really liking that. The Eeny Weeny Uni Posca 1MR pen, as well as our 2 Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils, which are delightful. We also have our I was going to say Col Erase pencil, but it is the Statler Norris erasable pencil in a sort of orangey red colour. Our Sweet, our Scrawlrbox sticker, our Daler Rowney Aquafine watercolour travel set, which is an absolute joy to behold. I really like that. As well as our list of supplies and our prompt for June, which is Summer Flourish. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the contents of your Scrawlrbox for June. Now, just if I take a quick nip back here, you can see now that this has dried the opacity of the actual paints, and you can see how vibrant those colours are. So if you want to go a little bit fancy and a little bit less traditional watercolory type style, you can totally go ham and get, you know, those, look at that, I mean, look at this, it's like twice alizarin crimson. It's absolutely beautiful, and the Hooker's greens come out quite nice as well. And with the more sort of wishy-washy, you know, the kind of watercolour I like, you can still get some really delicate colours as well. So these paints look to be absolutely fabulous, and I'm quite excited about filming the Scrawlrbox challenge video, which will be at the end of the month, so you can keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I shall see you tomorrow for the normal scheduled video. Have a good day, everyone. I'll speak to you later. Bye for now.